At Christmas dinner, my 5-year-old nephew refused to touch his favorite pie and kept hiding his hands. My name is Daniel. I'm a chef in Boston and I'm 28 years old. This is a story about how I uncovered a family secret and saved my nephew. He wouldn't eat. My 5-year-old nephew sat at the dinner table staring at the pie he normally loved. His small hands were clenched in his lap. "I'm not hungry," he mumbled, his eyes fixed on the plate. His father chuckled, raising his wine glass. "He's just being difficult." His mother's glare shot across the table at the boy. "Don't cause a scene." The laughter from our relatives filled the room, but I felt a heavy silence, something no one else seemed to notice. Later, I got up to get a glass of water, and he followed me. His footsteps soft on the tile. When I turned, he was right there, his eyes red with tears, his voice trembling. "Uncle, please help me, Mommy and Daddy." He lifted his hands, and I saw bruises that no child should ever have. My throat tightened with a cold feeling, not with sadness. I went back to the table with the image of his hands in my mind. The chatter, the clinking of glasses, the forced laughter. Everything became a blur as a storm began to brew inside. No one noticed me watching his parents, the father's smug smile, the mother's sharp laugh. They seemed untouchable, caught up in their perfect family act. But my nephew's words kept echoing in my head. "Help me, please." I observed how his mother's fingers dug into her wine glass and how his father leaned in too close when he whispered to her. It was a language of cruelty disguised as a normal marriage. And in that moment, I realized something much deeper than just abuse or neglect. It was a betrayal of blood. His eyes didn't look like his father's. His small body didn't have the same features, and the way his father dismissed him, like he was an inconvenience, not a son, made my suspicions grow stronger. I suspected infidelity, a hidden life filled with lies, waiting to crumble. The bruises were only the surface. The real wound was buried in a truth they thought I'd never find. I didn't confront them right away. The first rule is never to show your hand too early. Instead, I smiled, raised my glass, and said nothing. Over the next few weeks, I watched them quietly and carefully. One day, I picked my nephew up from school. His teacher seemed surprised. "That's strange," she said. "His father rarely comes. It's always the mother or someone else." That phrase, "someone else," made me start digging. I checked phone records, late-night calls, and found unfamiliar numbers saved. Under fake names, I knew what I was looking for, even before the pieces fit together. Then there was a visit to the hospital, a quick slip of the tongue. The pediatrician glanced at me, then at the boy, then at the chart. His expression faltered when I introduced myself as his uncle. "Ah," he said, clearing his throat. "You're the brother of—" He stopped himself and quickly changed the subject. I caught the hesitation, a flicker of knowledge he wasn't supposed to share. I decided to get a DNA test. I used my own money and kept it a secret. I discreetly swabbed my nephew's cheek when I tucked him into bed. He thought it was just a game. The waiting was the hardest part. I remained calm on the outside, but inside, a storm of certainty was building. The results were inevitable. I already knew what the letter would say. The envelope arrived on a Wednesday morning. I sat at my kitchen table with my nephew's laughter echoing faintly from upstairs. I didn't hesitate. I opened it. The words were formal and impersonal, but the meaning was, like a knife, he wasn't his father's son. The bloodline was broken, the lie exposed. That night I went back to their house for dinner. The same forced smiles and clinking glasses were there. I waited until the plates were cleared and the laughter grew. Then I slid the folded paper across the table. My brother-in-law frowned in confusion. He opened it and his face went white. My sister's hand shot out to grab it, her eyes wide with panic. "What is this?" she whispered. I didn't say anything. The silence was my weapon. The truth did the rest. My brother-in-law's fury was directed at her, not me. His voice was raw as he demanded answers. She broke down, stuttering and making excuses. I remained calm, watching as the world they had built fell apart in front of me. When the shouting ended, I stood up. "I'm taking him," I said, my voice steady. My sister's head snapped toward me. "You can't." I met her eyes. "You lost that right the moment you lied." My brother-in-law's silence confirmed it. He didn't try to stop me. He just stared at her with a hatred deeper than I could ever feel. I went upstairs, packed a few things for my nephew, and took his small hand in mine. He didn't ask any questions. He didn't need to. Downstairs, chaos was tearing the room apart. Accusations, curses, and shattered glass, but none of it touched me. I had already won. Later, when my nephew was sleeping safely in my home, I sat in the dark. There were no tears, no relief, just clarity. The truth had been a slow poison in their marriage. I hadn't created it, I had simply let it out. They would now destroy each other slowly and completely, and I would raise my nephew in peace, his hands no longer bruised, his voice no longer trembling. Betrayal has many victims, but sometimes, if you're patient enough, it only consumes the guilty. I poured myself a glass of water, sat back, and let the stillness settle. For the first time in years, I felt nothing, and nothing was enough. Love jaw-dropping family stories? Hit subscribe and never miss the next twist. Every story hides a secret. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what